All right, we are live. So let's get going. Welcome to today's class, which is Social Media Explosion. Can you guys see the front screen? Okay. Is that better?
Yep.
Can you still see your computers and your notes? Okay, good enough. Thank you. So today what we're going to do is kind of take ourselves through a journey. And we're going to start with why do we want to pay attention to different social media outlets for our real estate business, and creating our content or our baseline of a brand on those social media outlets, and then how we can utilize that content and that branding to go forward and generate actual business through advertising and connections and building relationships using those platforms. You may ask me why I have a ball in my hand, and the reason is if you're not paying attention, I'm going to hit you. So you must pay attention. Be lucky for those of you who are at home and not here, because I've got a wicked right arm. Anyways, moving forward. I'm not on there.
No, you're not.
So why are you here to learn about the different social media outlets or how to leverage them? Why are we here? What do you aim to gain by listening to me today?
Just to cement what I think I might know or not.
Okay, see what you know, what you don't know. You don't know what you don't know. Gain exposure, learning.
Create a presence for myself in the market.
Perfect. That's the perfect answer for what I'm talking about today. Okay, so what do you really aim to gain? And the reason that social media has been such a kind of a buzz topic in real estate is because some think that it is what it isn't, or it's not beneficial, or it won't work for me, or it will work and you just don't know how to use it. There's a lot of confusion as to where different people stand. And when you go into social media advertising and lead generation, you really need to have the right mindset for yourself before you even get in there. If you go in there with the wrong mindset, then you're going to be looking for people that aren't there, or you're going to be sending out a message that does not resonate with the end user. We all know that a successful marketing campaign depends a lot on the message, right? And your message changes based on who you're trying to gain a response from, or who you're trying to gain some type of emotional response, okay? And that's what drives contacts. So does anyone listen to any podcasts? No podcasters? Yes, you do? What do you listen to? Music podcasts? Okay. I'm big on not necessarily like the motivational stuff, but uplifting, energizing, motivating. Not like on a self-help way, but give me a little idea and I'm going to run with it. So I love Gary Vee. Now, if you've ever heard Gary Vee, he speaks like a sailor, which makes him very entertaining in my opinion. Some people are very turned off by that because every other word is an F-bomb. But it's very entertaining on my side. So he says something in relation to social media advertising. Saying hello does not have a return on your investment. It's about building relationships. What he means by that is every post that you put onto a Facebook, an Instagram, a Twitter, whatever outlet you're on, will not necessarily give you a dollar for dollar return on your time. But what you're doing is giving yourself an opportunity to start a conversation. Conversations lead to relationships. Relationships lead to transactions. Transactions lead to money, as well as more referrals. So you've got to start somewhere. Understanding the users that you're going to reach on social media and where they are in their process is of the utmost importance to your success. Please do not think that being on social media and getting a lead through there is someone who's going to turn around, look at one house and close. It's not going to happen. The average incubation period or nurturing period for a social media lead from either Facebook, Twitter, Instagram is roughly 9 to 12 months. So imagine that. You have to stay in touch with someone for 9 to 12 months before they will actually pull the trigger. Honestly, can you think that someone you got from Realtor.com, Zillow, postcards, things like that, that you would nurture those people for 9 to 12 months? Realistically speaking, most agents will not. You're looking for something that within 1 to 7 calls that you're going to be able to close someone. And going into that, into social media advertising, or even just posting and creating a brand for yourself and thinking that is not realistic. So before we even get into advertising and paying for leads through these outlets, we need to have a plan in place. When I have a lead come in, My first phone call, yes, is very important, but is not nearly as important to the success plan I have going for the next 3 to 5 months and getting them prepared or educated to be able to buy. Most of them coming in for, believe it or not, will have credit or cash issues and not be ready to buy right then. But you will be the one who guides them through that process and gets them prepared to buy. Okay, and that's thinking more on the buyer side. So let's have this mentality that we're saying hello, we're trying to start a conversation. We want to invoke an emotional response from them to begin conversing with us, and we can build the relationship because that's who we are. We are people. If you can have a conversation with me, I'm going to capture that relationship, and that's the idea. So why social media? You say, many people will say that that's where consumers are. That's where everybody is. Yes, Facebook has one of the largest user bases in the world of any software out there, by far. And the reason that we're really focusing on that is not just where the numbers are, but it's where the numbers are and what they're looking at on Facebook, for example, or Instagram, are topics that really apply to real estate. It's kind of hard to read this, so I'll go down. The blue signifies traffic that was produced from Facebook. The red signifies traffic that was produced from Google. The gray is everything else. So this is a Facebook versus Google chart here. And this is for all traffic that was passed from one of these outlets for an article or an advertisement. So let's say there was an article about living in South Florida. Okay, that's a lifestyle related article. How many people visited that article from Facebook? Where did they find it? Facebook, Google, or somewhere else? So lifestyle happens to be the first category up here. 87% of traffic to these articles or these advertisements were generated from Facebook, while 7% were generated from Google. So that's telling us if you're looking lifestyle, if you're looking for things to do in your life, events, places to live, places to eat, you're more inclined to look at things through Facebook than Google. Whether that's you or me, it doesn't matter. The general public is what we're looking for. Next, we've got local events. So articles about local events, event calendars, invites, write-ups about those events, concerts, all of those kinds of things. 61% of the traffic came from Facebook, while 26% of the traffic came from Google. It's telling us that Facebook is much more localized than Google. Google's an international network. Facebook is too, but they're looking at what is important to you, what relates to you. And you're not going to see an event in Alaska, for example. But if you Google, you very well may see that. So Facebook is more on a personal level, my lifestyle, my local area, compared to Google looking out there on everything on the internet, okay? So out of all of these categories, the top two happen to be the ones that really apply to that, okay? Now, there's a company, maybe you've heard of them. They're called Amazon. Everybody heard of Amazon? Yes? You guys are killing me today. Have you heard of Amazon? Yes. Thank you. Okay. Now, how did Amazon get big? They all started as like an online bookseller, right? I remember back in the day getting the ISBN number, going to look that up on Amazon and buy my textbook. That's how it happened, right? At age money a little bit. How did Amazon transition from being an online bookseller to the largest retailer in the world? Jeff Bezos? Okay, so what did he decide to do? He had a vision, okay. Actual tangible information, what they did is invested millions in the most underpriced attention that was available at the marketplace at that time. Do you know what that underpriced attention was when Amazon was booming, when it became just a big name? Internet, yes, internet was out long before them. Right. So that's when Amazon started. That was about being the online bookseller. But they transitioned from just selling books to being the largest retailer. What did they invest in? You know it. It's still around. Google pay-per-click advertising. So that was the very, very start of Google pay-per-click advertising, when you were paying a fraction of a penny for a browser, a consumer, to go from Google to your website. They invested millions and millions of dollars, okay? And that's when they really grew. That's when they took off. So they invested in the most underpriced attention available in the marketplace at that time. What is the most underpriced attention available in our marketplace now? It's Facebook and Instagram advertising. Okay, what the cost is on those leads or those advertisements from Facebook and Instagram are now is what Google pay-per-click was when it started. If you've done any research, Google pay-per-click is now 10 to 150 times more expensive than Facebook and Instagram advertising clicks. What you might pay $15 per click on Google for today, you'd pay 15 cents on Facebook or Instagram. So it puts in perspective a little bit about where it has been and where we are now. So you're not behind the curve because you haven't done it yet. It's still in that beginning underpriced attention time frame. Now, let's review the different platforms. There are over 50 different social media outlets available. I wouldn't even try to name all of them. I couldn't even name half of them. So which ones do we want to focus our efforts on? Where can we have an actual return or reach enough people? Let's review those. It's not realistic to expect all of you to use every single outlet that's out there because it just wouldn't happen. So Facebook, that's the biggest one. On Facebook, you can engage with targeted users, present your brand, your product, your image, and Facebook's success is not just direct e-commerce selling. For example, you do much better on Google than Facebook selling a pair of sunglasses. But if we're selling the lifestyle of wearing these sunglasses, that's Facebook. You see the distinct difference there, okay? It's easier to develop long-term relationships through them. It's still a network about people, not logos. So it's much more interaction back and forth, not necessarily just what the product is. I see more success in deals and discounts and coupons and advice than the actual home itself. For example, if you have a listing in the waterfront here in Pompano, if you place an advertisement behind that listing, you are strictly looking for people interested in that one house. Your success rate will be much lower than if you're selling any waterfront home or the lifestyle of living in a waterfront home in East Broward, Fort Lauderdale, Pompano, Lauderdale by the Sea, things like that. So the concept is much more successful than the actual product, if that makes any sense. If you were selling sweaters, instead of posting the sweater, it would be how you feel wearing a sweater, things like that. That's kind of the perspective. Facebook is definitely the widest diversified social media outlet anywhere. If you think about that, most of you know me. I have an 11-year-old son. He is on Facebook, and so is my 97-year-old grandmother. You've got that wide of a range. Some people's pets have social media accounts. Almost every demographic you can find on Facebook and target them specifically. Now, Facebook advertising specifically has changed a lot, mostly over the last 8 months. There have been big restricted changes from HUD, who sued Facebook for fair housing violations, that have forced them to make monthly changes to the advertising protocols. But I'm going to give you a hint. Since this is only recorded in-house, I'm not worried about giving this out to the public, but there are vendors and programs that you can utilize to manage your advertising on Facebook and circumvent some of those requirements. So if you advertise directly on Facebook, you must conform. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. It's really restrictive. But there is a program called Ad Espresso. There's a program called Ad Espresso that vendors like this have kind of a backdoor entrance into Facebook's advertising portals. And I've been using this program for just shy of a year now. And I have been able to circumvent every restriction that Facebook has made so far and target people by geographic area, businesses they interact with, cultures, languages spoken, ages, which is not allowed inside of Facebook's advertising policy. So it's a bit of bless you. It's a bit of a secret to go around because it has become very, very restrictive. But we'll talk more about advertising at the end. Instagram. Instagram is very focused on visual graphics and interesting and compelling content. The average user age on Instagram has now gone up. It's 22.1. 22.1 years old is the average user on Instagram. What does that tell you? The attention span's about 22.1 seconds. So you must capture them in an instant as scrolling, okay? So very visually compelling graphics or videos. Anything that you post on Instagram should be extremely short, either very colorful and attractive or a 15-second entertaining video. Entertaining. That means you're not standing in front of an open house saying, here is my 3-bedroom home at 123 Main Street. Please come see it Saturday between 1 and 4, pretty please. No, it would need to be something fun. And a broker I've seen doing that really well, he dresses up as a different character for each one of his open house videos. For example, in December, it was all, I'm muting the people at home. For December, it was all Willy Wonka. He dressed up as Willy Wonka for every open house video that he did. Anyways, so he dressed up as Willy Wonka, which if you see a video about a realtor dressed up as some funny character, that would be pretty intriguing, right? You might watch the rest of that video. But if you just see someone standing in front of a house, you're scrolling by. You know what I mean? I'm not telling you that you need to dress up as Willy Wonka. I'm telling you that you need to have fun with what you are doing. Why are you in real estate? To make money and have fun, right? If you're not enjoying what you're doing, you shouldn't be doing it, right? Nobody wants to work and be miserable for the rest of their lives. Have fun with what you're doing. So Instagram gives us a platform and a portal to kind of come out of our shell and enjoy. Okay? Have fun with it. Again, Instagram relies heavily on visual content. The best industries that do well on Instagram are things that are visually appealing. Clothing, fashion, food, real estate, design, interior design, staging, things like that. Okay? Add espresso, yeah? No, we don't have a relationship with them. That's a great question. You go direct to them. There is a 14-day trial before you start paying them, but it is highly worth their cost. Highly worth. It is a lot easier to use than Facebook's advertising center. Not even close. I'm in there a lot, and it's a lot easier to use. And they also do trainings and guidance, and they'll help you set up your campaigns and get things moving. Great. Okay. YouTube. I say YouTube because I'm Jewish. I get to say that. You don't get to repeat it. Okay. So YouTube is the leading force for online video. Who owns YouTube? Google. Great. So what does that mean? That means it indexes really well with search engines. The more YouTube videos you put onto your website, the better your optimization for search engines will get. Okay? But that also means YouTube and Facebook do not get along. Google and Facebook do not get along. Okay? Facebook stole Google's girlfriend in high school, so they just don't like each other anymore. All right? Have you ever noticed videos in your feed that don't start playing, but then some do? As you're scrolling through your Facebook feed, some videos just start playing, and others you have to click on to get it to play. The ones you have to click on are YouTube videos. The ones that you upload direct or native Facebook videos play automatically. And that is Facebook's way of saying, give us the video, don't give it to YouTube. Okay? So anytime you record a video, upload it to the source that you're going to be utilizing it. If you're going to post it on Facebook, upload direct to Facebook. If you're going to be using it on your website, upload to YouTube and bring it to your website, because Google will be inside your site a little bit more. That's the idea. Okay. The success of YouTube was drawn from the tendency of people to lean towards visual content. Instagram, that's how that became popular, more visual than Facebook has been. YouTube is the leader of video. Okay. When you're posting any videos to YouTube, they should be really short, not as short as Instagram, but 1.5 to 3 minutes. And interesting and not salesy. I've seen a realtor, it's actually a realtor of ours in Colorado, former realtor of ours in Colorado, who did market updates every month. It was 27 minutes long. He's one of our agents and I couldn't watch it. Like, I wanted to support him. I couldn't watch it. It was dreadful. So I bet if you look at his statistics, everybody clicked out after about a minute and hearing what he had to say for a minute, being very boring. And then, oh my God, there's 26 more minutes of this. Get out. So it needs to be short. Yes, sir. I love YouTube. So that's a great question, actually. If you are looking at how to do something or for advice or guidance or tips on YouTube, and you see the same thing, there's two videos side by side with similar titles. One of them's 3 minutes and one of them's 8 minutes. Which one are you gonna watch? 100%. So that's exactly the mentality, and that is what articles say is the shorter videos, same topics, the more concise videos get more views because you can get more done in less time. That's the exact point. So instead of making a longer video, you could do 4 of them, but make them shorter and just hit different points in different videos. Yeah, if you're trying to do a market update or statistics in your farming area, things like that, that's fine. But instead of listing every change that has ever happened, nobody cares. It's 3 items. Correct, you fast forward and then you're missing part of the message. So pick 3 items that you want to discuss or less, 3 items or less, and just, hey, here are 3 things that you need to know that's changed in our market in the last month or in the last quarter. If you want to do a market update, if you want to do an open house or a new listing, things like that, they got to be visually compelling. Don't do a photo slideshow that takes 15 seconds to go from one photo to the other. Make it pretty quick. If they want more information to see the photo longer, they can pause it. There is that neat little pause button. They want to slow it down, but you can't make it go faster without skipping. Okay, so keep the message very concise and informational. Again, fun, not salesy. Don't stand in front of a house and tell them about all the different features. Guess what? They can read that below. Give them something very engaging. If you're doing a video about an open house, don't give them all the details. Give some desire, some type of excitement, okay? There's something to be said about going to an open house that offers some type of chance to win something or give something away or get something for free than going for cookies and water. Okay? Some agents, unless it's a luxury listing, you don't have to go all overboard on the food and the snacks and stuff. It's much more important the engagement and that they feel like, oh, this is going to be fun, or I could get something, or I'm actually looking to look instead of looking to get cookies and wraps from Publix. LinkedIn. LinkedIn originally started as an Indeed style platform. Okay, it's where you would go and post your resume, you would find staff members, you would be able to search through resumes, things like that. And it has really quickly transformed into the largest business-to-business social media platform out there. Okay, now it's very important. You'll find the same users on Facebook as LinkedIn, but the mentality of that person when they're on one outlet or the other changes drastically. When are you on LinkedIn? When you're in a business mindset. Okay, you're not looking for anything personal. So if you're doing commercial real estate, LinkedIn is going to be your best friend. It's awesome. You can target people on LinkedIn for free by industry, job title, net worth, geographic area. It's unreal for free. Okay, but you're not going to hit the people geographically on where they want to live. Other demographics that would apply more to the residential side. So LinkedIn is great for commercial, but you want to pull people off of there if you want to hit them for residential. And the benefit behind that would be targeting executives, people of high net worth. As soon as you make a connection with them on LinkedIn, LinkedIn has this really nice export feature where you can export all of your contacts from LinkedIn, all of your connections. It comes with their name, their industry, the business name, the job title, and their email address. How accurate do you think the email address is that they're logging into LinkedIn with? It's actually pretty accurate because you have to be able to get into it, right? So it's a pretty valid email. Same thing like Facebook. Even better, the longer they've had that, the longer their resume on LinkedIn, the better, because it's more of a personal email than for the business they're currently with. Why is that important? If it's their personal email on there, it's quite possible or likely it's also their personal email on other outlets. Downloading that contact list allows you to market to them by email. It also allows you to upload that contact list into Facebook. When you upload that contact list into Facebook, you are directly hitting those users by email address. So let's say you connected with me on LinkedIn. My Gmail address is my same Gmail address from high school. So pulling that off, it also happens to be my same Gmail address from Facebook. So by pulling that off, you're now hitting me with advertisements popping up directly to me, and you know everything about me. You get it? So connecting with people that you want to sell to or list with, building those connections on LinkedIn can benefit you greatly on Facebook.
Does that, so if you have to go for the Premier to get,
No. What I've discussed on LinkedIn is completely free. The difference between free and premium on LinkedIn is really the volume you can do.
I used to do that. And then,
I still do it.
but it wouldn't let me, it wouldn't let me have anybody new or.
So I had to go to premium when we hit certain numbers of connections and certain numbers of message requests or connection requests. And that was the only threshold that we had to cross. Everything else is still available. Yeah, so I went premium for about 6 months to see the difference, and that was the only difference. It was volume. Now I've downgraded back, and I'm still doing the same stuff, but not at the large scale that I was before. Correct. Exactly. So I friended every realtor available in the state of Florida. And now we're directly marketing to them on Facebook. It's beautiful. Pinterest. Pinterest, please don't hate me, females in the room. I did not write this part. Only 70 million active users on a monthly basis. That's compared to almost 10 times the amount on Instagram. Originally, it was found as a site where housewives could share recipes, dresses, photos of bags, cosmetics during the early days, and has developed more into like a junior Instagram. And I say junior with a lot of emphasis. Instagram is very similar, but is much more popular. Okay, I did write the bottom part. Pinterest still has a 4-to-1 female user ratio, which is why it's kind of been branded that way. But it is an ideal site for businesses focused towards, again, the graphically friendly items, design, fashion, style, things like that. Okay. Notice how I didn't name any others. What are some of the big ones that I missed? I did it purposely. Twitter. Didn't name Twitter. I have not heard one person be successful and generate more than one customer or transaction from Twitter. But the others, dozens and dozens and hundreds of people that have done deals and hundreds of deals that have been cultivated through these. So the numbers aren't there. If I'm going to tell you to focus your time on something, it will be these 3 major ones: Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. That's really where I want you to focus your energy. If you're doing commercial, then I would eliminate all of these and go LinkedIn. YouTube and LinkedIn probably. So let's quick comparison. On Facebook, you'll find most success with news and deals, where you can tag and interact with businesses and customers. Facebook also has the most customizable advertising platform out there, meaning you can hit different people and really specify the target that you would like to hit. Instagram is graphic and fun. It is the home of the hashtag, which we're about to talk about. Postings are meant to be quick and short. And contrary to Facebook's customizable advertising, Instagram has the easiest advertising, 5 clicks to an ad. And I'm going to show you how to do that. YouTube is the home of video content. It is owned by the monster. We know that's Google. And it is great to be used for blogs and hosting of content for your website. Okay? But we've understood and spoken about the ideas or the concepts behind it. Now let's go into more of, you don't need that. Let's go more into the actual content and creating of the brand. Does anyone in here not have a business page on Facebook? Okay, it's imperative you create one. And the reason behind that is the more you utilize your personal account for business, the higher the chance that you get red flagged by Facebook, because your personal account using it for commercial purposes is a violation of their policies. And I know a few people who have been shut down. So by using their personal to generate real estate business, they have been cut and eliminated, and they can't use that email address for an account anymore. If you're staggering it back and forth, you probably won't get caught, or you're less likely to do so. But you cannot do paid advertising from a personal account. You have to have a business page to do it. And the important having a business page and building the content on it increases what's called either your relativity or quality score. The higher your quality score, the more Facebook thinks that consumers want to see your information. So they make it cheaper, cost per click, and they make it appear more often. So you'll appear more at less of a cost if you have more content and relativity on your business page. If it just started and you have nothing on there, I'm telling you, you're going to pay double and you're going to appear half the time. So it's very beneficial to have that business page. Now, I get you have a larger network on your personal profile than you probably ever will on your business page, and that's okay. Take postings from your business page and share them to your personal. You're still establishing the same thing, but you're building your content up at the same time. And I'll talk about that in a second. If you don't know, if you have not created a Facebook business page, I'm not going to spend time going through that. It's really, really easy. There's a link here at the bottom where Facebook will walk you through it, or go to YouTube. Just type create Facebook business page. It's a 1 and 35-second video. I've watched it. I've shown it. I've shared it. It's very, very simple and straightforward. It takes you screen by screen going through it and what you should answer. Okay. Naming your business page. I've seen too many realtors with business pages saying sell by the sea or property home professional, things like that. It's terrible. My personal recommendation, you don't have to do it this way, is to follow this naming convention. Your name, realtor, company name, period. That's it. And there's a few reasons behind that. Number one, there's a little thing that we abide by called the Code of Ethics. Okay? And there are certain requirements for you to disclose certain pieces of information on any advertisement. There's 4 items. Do you know what those items are? Every ad has to have that. Your name, your broker's name, a method of contact, and the fact that you're a real estate professional. Those are your 4 items. You can say location. You don't have to say real estate after it. So naming your page this way, you're satisfying the name, your name on your license, you're satisfying the real estate professional, and you're satisfying the name of your broker. On any social media outlet, simply by clicking on the name is a method to communicate with you. So you satisfy all requirements by doing it this way. Okay? The reason I want you to do it this way is every posting that you put is considered an advertisement. I want to keep you out of trouble. I want to keep me out of trouble. So by simply naming your page this way, you're satisfying all disclosures required on every post that you put out. No, you do not. You do not need the realtor symbol. Just realtor there is fine. You actually don't have to specify if you're a realtor or a real estate professional, just the fact that you are a real estate professional. So you could say real estate agent instead of realtor. It doesn't matter. That's number one. Number two, searchability or findability. Someone is much more likely to search the term real estate or realtor than your personal name. But if you have your page named Property by the Sea, or properties, sell properties by the sea, buy properties by the sea, real estate by the sea, things like that, and someone goes and searches your name, they're not going to find you. Or if someone searches for realtor, they're not going to find you. Let's say you are located right here, right now, and someone across the street happens to go on Facebook and type realtor. You're going to show up if you named your page like this, because Facebook knows that you geographically, you guys are right next to each other. This is very appropriate. And the term that they're typing in is also a term in your page name, not just your page description, your name. So they think you're very relative. You might be the first or second option right there. So the idea is to be more findable when people aren't necessarily looking for you. Does that make sense? Okay. There's no reason not to do it this way. Property by the Sea is not going to generate you more business than this. Okay. Whenever you are working on your business page, now when I'm saying business page, I mean business profile on Instagram and business page on Facebook. You want to be kind of maintaining a certain brand or message or image. For those of you who were here for our 2020 business planning, we talked about establishing a brand for yourself, something that you enjoy personally, and bringing that into your business will allow you to bond or start a conversation with people over something that has nothing to do with real estate. Miguel, sorry to call on you. What do you like to do outside of business? Exercise. Okay. So he could be the fitness broker, the fitness agent, for example. That's you? Sorry. We got a little fight going on here. If you both like working out, that could be an interesting fight. So I got odds 2-1. Who wants in? Oh, thank you. So just using that as an example, right? Will anyone ever not work with you, Miguel, because you like to work out? No. Could somebody want to work with you over another agent because they also like to work out? Very possible. Okay. You see where I'm going here. Establish or bring in your personal interest to your business. It cannot hurt you unless you have some really under the table interests, in which case keep those separate and we'll find you some new interests. But that's the idea. What kind of lead converts more? A personal referral or an online lead? Personal referral, that's obvious. And why is that? There's a connection, there's a commonality, there's something that they already have walking into it. They're more comfortable. That's the exact point of what I'm talking about. If you have a common interest, they're more likely to work with you than someone else that was referred to them. That is the idea. Building a connection starts a conversation. Conversations allow you to build the relationship. And if you're putting out there that you're the fitness agent, for example, that was a great example. If you're putting out that you're a fitness agent and they are also an enthusiast or enjoy or would like to do more, they may ask you a question about it. And that just started a conversation when they weren't looking for a house. That's the idea. Okay? So bring that into play. And now, not everything has to tie back to real estate. We have an agent in Colorado who's branded herself as the running realtor. And every day, every morning, she posts a picture of her outfit that she's going running, the trail that she ran on, and that's it. And she organizes a running club. What does all that have to do with real estate? Big fat zero. But I will tell you, it's where she gets every deal from. Every single one, because they have a common interest. They feel comfortable talking to her. Oh, you do real estate too? There you go. It's a whole idea. I stopped advertising for business almost 8 years ago when I became a broker here. I still do deals. Why? I'm not advertising. Nobody knows that I do real estate. Common interest. I coach my kids in baseball. So I'm building relationships with people through baseball and through children that they will just ask, I know you're in real estate. You know, we already know each other. I know you're in real estate. Would you sell my house or can you help me find one? How simple is that? Right? Common interest. Use that. As long as people know what you do, whatever reason that you connected will just develop more and more. Okay? Find a passion for something and get involved in it. If it's yoga, great. Go join a yoga club. Start a meetup group. Yes. 100%. So when you meet someone, that's a great question. When you meet someone at a supermarket, do you hand them a business card? What do you do? Yeah? No. That's totally impersonal. That's totally impersonal. Never before have we had such a window into people's personal lives. You see the extent of what people share on social media, right? Like, it's absurd. Everybody has that one friend who shares way too much information, right? Yes, ma'am. That's perfectly fine. If they ask you for your information, definitely, okay? And whether they ask or not, I'm still going to hand them a card, but it's going to be more of, you know, I had a great conversation. Call me. Let's go to lunch sometime. I'm not asking for business. I'm asking for a relationship. That's the idea. At the same time, I'm also friending them on Facebook. Why? Okay, Facebook is a direct window into their life. 100%. If they ask you, give it to them. Why not? But when in doubt, I'm definitely friending them on Facebook. I was the kind of person that if you got a Realtor.com lead, the first thing I would do was obviously call. Second thing I would do is find them on Facebook and friend them. Because whether they respond to me now or not, I'm getting a direct window into what they're doing with their life. Do you think life events tell you when a real estate transaction is going to occur? Of course it does. Marriage, divorce, having a kid moving out, right? So posting a bunch of stuff for sale on the Facebook marketplace. These all drive real estate transactions to occur. right? So you have a direct window into their life. It gives you an excuse to reach out or an excuse to stay front of mind. We're pregnant. Oh my God, I just heard, that's awesome. Or drop by with a gift, something, right? It gives you an idea to when to reach out to people. It's like your artificial intelligence on your CRM, except you have to just pay attention to it. What's a hashtag? What's a hashtag? I'm telling you here, but that's not really what it is.
I'm really don't understand. I don't understand yet the real purpose of this. I know how is that, but
Okay, so let's talk about it. A hashtag is like a label. Say it's like a category, right? You open the front of a book and it's got an index of the different chapters, okay? And you go to the chapter you want to read. Inside that chapter is all the information. Think of a hashtag as a chapter header, okay? And you can go onto Instagram or even Facebook now and type in that chapter header and see all the information related to that chapter. Does that make sense? Okay. Now, what's really powerful about it is how you can find new people. Okay. The real estate expectation or the non-realistic expectation is that someone will go on Instagram and type hashtag for sale. I want to buy a house. I'm going to go on Instagram. I'm going to see what's for sale. It's not realistic. Nobody's doing that. But you can relate to them through other terms. I'll give you an example. I have interacted with a ridiculous amount of postings that have hashtag $1 million listing in it. Now, because I've interacted with so many, when someone else uses hashtag $1 million listing, it will appear in my feed. So Instagram is trying to determine what does this person want to see. Because I've interacted with so many posts with that hashtag, it's a common one used, I'm now seeing those even if I'm not connected with that person. So using common terms like hashtag, not necessarily new listing, but try and use terms that people would use outside of real estate. Like when I went to the Dolphins game with my son, I put hashtag Miami, hashtag Dolphins, hashtag Go Fins, which are commonly used by anyone who's ever attended a game there. So those are all people that I'm connecting with that I did not have a connection with before. See where I'm going with that? It allows you to reach out further. Does that make sense? So don't just use real estate related hashtags. We want to use a combination of a few different categories. Yes.
one of the hashtags that I found with a group of cancer therapy people live like forever.
Right.
So then I know that they are on the cancer.
So when you post that, you don't have a connection necessarily like a following with that person, and you use that hashtag, those people who have interacted with that hashtag on other posts have a chance to see what you've posted. Okay, it's not going to appear on all of them because Instagram's trying to determine who wants to see it, but it expands your reach. I'll show you some stats when I get further on. Instagram will tell you if you have a business profile, if you're finding people through hashtags, through your own connections, how they saw your posting. So it'll tell you if you're doing a good idea or a good job or not. Okay, so the 3 categories that I'd like to fall under if you're using hashtags, minimum of 3. I believe the cap is currently 35. If you come up with 35 hashtags that are related to your posting, my hat's off to you. Minimum 3. And the category I'd like to fall under are location, I spelled it wrong up there, sorry, lifestyle, and branding. What I mean by that is location. Let's say you're putting up a posting about a new listing or an open house in Fort Lauderdale. Hashtag Fort Lauderdale. Hashtag FT Lauderdale. Because many people interact with a hashtag Fort Lauderdale posting that may or may not be about real estate, but it allows you to expand your reach to people who have interacted with that hashtag before. Okay? Lifestyle, hashtag waterfront, hashtag beach, hashtag boat, golf, horse, Disney, whatever. Those are hashtags that could be interacted with by general members of the public. The idea is expanding your reach. Okay? The last one, branding. Branding should have to do with you or your company. Either fitness realtor, fitness agent, running realtor, caring, hashtag John the Realtor, hashtag Chris Sells Miami, something about your branding, but you can also leverage hashtag location, location nation, location RE, those kinds of things. Because we put a lot of advertising behind our postings, we're reaching people and getting interactions with other people, so you can leverage that for yourself as well. Okay. These are the most commonly used hashtags that are related to real estate. It's based on an article that I found through Instagram. So out of the top 500 hashtags, these were the real estate related ones. This is also being recorded. Yes, sir.
When you got your 35 hashtags, I remember somebody telling me once, and I've forgotten, there was a way of storing them, so you don't want to do them all again.
Yeah, there's a few different things to do. So number one, don't always use the same hashtags. The more you use them, the reduced impact that they have. I would probably use 30 of the same and then change 5. And the easiest way to save them is just simply copy and paste them to your notes on your phone. So you just copy and paste it into your posting and then finish off with a few different ones. Okay? That way you don't have to type them in every time. Yeah, it's a huge pain in the butt. Okay, moving on. Let's talk about building content. So we've created our page. We know what kind of brand or image that we want to have. We know that which platforms we're going to use, but now we need content to post. How often should you be posting on whatever profile you're on? At least 20% of the time? Minimum once a day. Minimum once a day. If you listen to Gary Vee, he'll tell you to post 5 times a day and then eat lunch. It's way too much. It's ridiculous. If you post once a day, that's enough. Twice a day is twice as good. But don't go overboard. Don't spend your life posting. You need to spend your life interacting with people. This is a platform for us to start a conversation, to be with people. Don't make it run your life. Okay? Some things that you should post. We're going to do a summary and then we're going to go into some details. Listings, that's a no-brainer. Do not post listings more than 2 or 3 times per week. You are not the source of data. They're not going to go to your page and see what's coming up on the market next. You're really just trying to pique the interest of the people that are already there and show them that you have an involvement with the market, you have a knowledge of what is going on, okay? That was listings. Open houses, same thing, 2 to 3 times a week. Maybe an excitement one about an open house coming up, and then a posting about the information of being at the open house, and then maybe a follow-up of what's coming next week, something like that. That'd be 2 to 3. Closings, celebrate your successes. What I mean by closings is not just sale closings. To the member of the public, a rental closing and a sale closing is really not a difference. Don't say rental. Don't say lease. Don't say move-in. Say another customer closed today. Say helping another consumer get into their new home. It doesn't define whether they bought or sold. You're not lying. You're not deceiving. Okay. But you want to show that you're interacting, you have experience, you're working with people, right? Are you more inclined to work with someone who looks like they're busy or looks like they have all the time in the world for you? You bet. That's the idea. Someone who's busy knows what they're doing. We're going to go into details on that. Good question. Great question. Real estate related news. We'll go into more details about that. Community news. We'll go into more details about that. Your hobby and your interest. I can't say this enough. Embrace your personal interests to your brand and share that. I post countless images of my children on the business page, excuse me. And the reason being, will anyone ever not work with me because I have kids? No. But will someone else who has kids or has a family be inclined to work with me over someone else? Very possible. Please do not post anything related to your personal information. I saw one person post their email address and password. I think it was a mistake, but I unfriended him. I can't be friends with people that dumb. Vacations or how long? This is a bit of an open conversation. I'm not worried about people breaking into my house. I post while I'm on vacation. I did last week, 2 weeks ago. Last week, 2 weeks ago. I don't remember. I posted pictures because I'm not worried about it. Some people find it's a security issue about posting when you're going out of town or while you're out of town. I still want you to post about your vacations, but if you feel that way, post when you come back. But definitely share the fact that you're on vacation, you're traveled, you're experiencing things. The whole point is starting a conversation. Someone who's been there before or is in the area, they will respond to that. I posted pictures while I was in North Carolina on a snow tube thing with my kids. And the responses I got were, oh, I was there last week, or I've been there before, or I take my kids there. These are all conversation starters. And that's what the idea is. Don't post anything about religion, politics, or controversy. If you think it could be on the edge, don't post it. If it's your religious view or your political view or supporting anything related to that, do not. Do not post anything about a wall. No corny real estate memes. Do you know what corny real estate memes are? Okay, so there are pictures that have some text on the top and the bottom, or the top or the bottom. And they're usually making fun of either other realtors, buyers, or sellers. Who are you trying to appeal to? Buyers or sellers. So if you go on your page, let's say you just took a new listing, and then you post a meme about how sellers are so unrealistic about their pricing expectations. Who do you think that's going to be geared towards? That guy might be pretty offended. Okay. If you're posting a meme about realtors, you're putting down your own industry. You're putting down yourself. Whether you're that way or not, it doesn't matter. If you're posting about realtors not answering the phone, you're putting down our industry and dissuading people from working with realtors. Don't do that. Everything else is fair game. It's pretty restricted what you cannot post. Everything else, feel free to share. Okay, the more content you have, the better. Now let's go into some details. Listings, we mentioned 2 to 3 times a week. I'm gonna give you more ideas than you can go through in a week. First, you can post about your own listings. If you have a listing and you're gonna post 2 to 3 times a week, don't post your listing 2 to 3 times a week. If you see a business that posts the same listing 3 times in a week, what does it make you think? It's a one-horse show. That's all they got. Okay? Company listings. You have complete carte blanche to post any location listing. So utilize the inventory that we have. Just in the Tri-County area in South Florida, we have over 400 listings. Pick one. You got some choices.
I can pick this one from the Katie Cole Plaza.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
100% I can post location listings.
You can post location listings, yes. Okay. New construction condominiums. Are there any condo buildings being built in your farming area, maybe? Any construction going on around here? A little bit. Okay. Take some time and go visit those condos, or give the sales team a call. Tell them you'd like to share it on your social network. They will overload you with content, videos, photos, floor plans, layouts, projections on pricing and rentals. They will give you so much information that you don't know what to do with it. Okay. Obviously, make sure that they're paying compensation to realtors, but that is a great topic to post. There are 2 rules, one from the developer and one from us, when you're posting new construction condos. The number 1 rule from the developer is you cannot use the name of the developer. They cannot control how you are portraying their project, so they don't want their name on it. Our rule is don't include the name of the project. If you make a posting and they love, oh my God, that place looks sick, I want to go buy that, and you put the name on there, what are they going to do?
Go there.
Good job. They might call you or say thank you or give you a high five, but more likely you're not going to know anything. So don't include any identifiable information to the building, so that you are the conduit that they must go through in order to get more information. If you're doing rentals, apartment complexes also works.
No
Now,
identified.
the difference between condos and apartment complexes is the apartment complex will typically not give you the content to post. They'll give you the pricing, tell you what's available, but go there and take your own pictures. Okay, you have to do, you got to do a little bit of work. You actually have to go there and take your own pictures. But it's something unique that most others are not utilizing, so it could be a good source for you. Okay. New development communities, just like condos, going to D.R. Horton, Lennar, Minto, Botanico, all of these different developments will give you the content just like condominiums. Okay. The last one, don't kill me, FSBOs. I like posting FSBOs. Why? Number 1, nobody else is. So it's unique content. Number 2, it's a different kind of approach. If you ever do prospecting or cold calling for sellers, instead of calling and getting cursed out by a seller, hey, I'm a realtor, the 73rd one who's called you today. No, it's, hey, I'm a realtor, but before you curse me out, I don't want to list your house. I have a great social network. I just want to take a few pictures and share it with my social network. Would you give me 3% if I brought you a buyer? Of course, they're going to say yes, or they'll say, no, I'll give you 2.5. Okay, whatever, buddy. Go to the house, take some pictures, and use that as a different way to start your relationship with the seller. You'll be the only one who walks in without a listing agreement. You'll be the only one who walks in and doesn't say why they should list with the realtor. Just call and give them periodic updates. Hey, we had 74 views on the video I created. Just wanted to let you know. I may be calling you soon. Call them back. Hey, we had 150 more. Quick question. Is your fireplace gas or wood? Who has fireplace here anyways? But that's kind of the idea, is to maintain that communication where you stand out a little bit differently. So when they do decide the list, or you've brought someone, it's a different angle for you to get that in, that, hey, this guy marketed a little bit differently than everybody else, okay? It's a way to start a conversation. Conversations build relationships. Open houses, similar to listings. You can post open houses on your listings as much as you want. You can post open houses on company listings as much as you want. MLS open houses. We have this resource on the MLS of what open houses are coming, and you can search the parameters of where they are, what they are, and where they are. There's one requirement on this. You cannot provide any, number one, photo from the MLS, and number two, the listing identifiable information. So let's say there's an open house in, no, I'm trying to get more specific than that. Let's say there's a listing in Imperial Point, okay? You can say, open house in Imperial Point this weekend, Saturday 1 to 4, call me for details or private viewing. That can be any listing that's on the MLS, because using that information, they cannot distinctively identify that listing, which would require permission from the listing broker, okay? So you'll use a very generic picture or a picture of the Imperial Point sign driving in and make your open house about a open house in Imperial Point. Please, it has to be true. Can't just post about an open house in your neighborhood if there's no open house. Please make it true so you don't get in trouble. Unlikely you would, but just in case. Can't put the price. It's identifiable to the listing. You could put the bedrooms, yes, because there can be multiple 3 bedrooms, but there's probably only one listing at $274,999. You know what I mean? You possibly wouldn't get in trouble for that, but I'd rather you shy away from offering the price up because I want them to reach out. That's the whole point, right? Of course, pool, waterfront, yeah. Because there can be multiple homes that satisfy that. Yes, ma'am.
For example, if I have a group of friends in Orlando and they have an open house, they ask me to share my page. Can I do it? Just share?
Yeah, you can. It's not going to benefit you at all, though, unless you're in Orlando. But even if you share it onto your page, it shows you where it came from. So they know it's not you. They'll click on that name and go directly to them. So it doesn't really benefit you unless you're taking the information and reposting instead of sharing. You cannot use a picture from a previous listing from somebody else. No. And I'll tell you where you can find pictures instead. We'll get there in a minute. Open houses. You can also post open houses you visited. For example, a big part of understanding your farming area and being knowledgeable about the market in your farming area is by going to visit homes. Nothing can replace going to a listing appointment and having firsthand knowledge of other homes in the area that have been listed or have been sold. Okay, walking in and saying, well, I would list your home at $399, $999 because another one just sold down the street at $370, and I remember walking through their kitchen and yours is much bigger than theirs. Okay, firsthand knowledge helps boost the experience, the confidence level that they have with you on that, you know what you're talking about. But it's also content for you to post. So while you're visiting that open house, go to the most jaw-dropping feature and do a short video or Facebook Live in front of that feature or next to that feature. Talk about it. This is unique for this area. It has a waterfall going into the pool. This natural rock waterfall is pretty rare. They're really expensive to put in, so why not buy a house that has it built in? If you're looking for a unique feature like this, call me. This house is available, or let's find your next dream home. Something like that, okay? It's content. Testimonials. Do you ever check reviews on products you buy before you buy them? You better believe the customer is Googling your name before working with you. You better believe it. Have you Googled yourself before? I love how that's now like a verb. Googling yourself, right? Have you Googled yourself? Excuse me. But testimonials are very, very important. So you have two different options on here. If you are just getting a review on Zillow or a review on Google or on Facebook and your customer's putting it there, that's great. But leverage that even further, okay? So if a customer leaves you a review on Zillow, copy that, put it into a graphic. I see some agents just screenshot it from Zillow. That's fine too, okay? Put it into a graphic. I'm gonna show you how to create this one on the right side. It was created with a free program, and that is a complete templated layout with just the text dropped in and the guy's picture and logo dropped in. Very, very simple and easy. Okay, the left side, if you haven't heard of Magnify or Location Connect, that is a software that we partnered up on, and it is video testimonials. It's really neat. You actually all have a free account on it right now. So if you go to Location Connect, for example, you log in, you'd put your customer's name, their email address, and what you want them to talk about. Please tell me about your experience in buying, on the buying process with me. They get sent an email with a link inside of it that says, Miguel had a great time working with you, congratulations. It would really help if you could share some experience on what the buying process was like working with him. Something like that. They say, okay, click on it. Pops up on their screen, 3, 2, 1. This can be done on a phone, an iPad, a laptop, anything with a camera and a microphone, okay? 3, 2, 1, go. And a video recording starts. And they're recording talking about, oh, Miguel was so patient. He showed us 37 homes. We made 27 lowball offers before we finally listened to him, and we closed on the next house. Thank you, Miguel, for being so patient and not kicking my wife out of the car. Okay, for example, they click done. Within 2 minutes, you get a pop-up on your side or an email or a text notification, new video ready for review. Go into your platform, you get to watch their video. The video that you are seeing is a post-production video. It starts with your branding and logo at the beginning, fades into some soft elevator light background music behind your customer talking, and then it fades back into a call to action and branding at the end, okay? Automatically happens within 2 minutes. You get to watch the video. If you didn't like it, you hit reject, and you can ask them to redo it again, or just don't do anything. Or if you hit accept, I believe the current rate is $10 a video if you hit approve, and you can instantly download it right there. Put it on YouTube, embed it on your website, share it to Facebook, share it to Instagram, okay? It's content for you. Editing videos can be very expensive. He walked out. Editing videos can be very expensive and time consuming. So that's an easy way for you to capture that for $10. Your time is worth a whole lot more than that $10. So you have an account already, go to the resources page if you'd like to check it out. Under technology, it's called Location Connect. Real estate related news and articles. These are 6 different resources that you can find. Daily articles that are related to real estate. There is a 5-step process that I want you to follow if you want to post an article. Please, please do not simply copy the link of the article and post it. You are advertising for whoever wrote that article. They might call you and say thank you, but they're probably not. Okay? So you read an article through Florida Realtors email, that's awesome. Do not copy the link on that. Here are your 5 steps. Number 1, write this down, it's not in here. 5 steps to post an article. Number 1, read the article. I saw a realtor from Hollywood actually post an article that talked about why interest rates are so low, but then if you go down one paragraph, it talks about don't sell your house. Like, oh my God. Read the article, okay? That's number 1. Number 2, copy the entire article. Number 3, paste that article to a blog posting on your website. You got that? Paste the entire article to a blog posting on your website. Number 4, at the bottom of the article, include courtesy of whatever the name of the publication is that you got the article from, and then a link to the original article there. So we're through step 4. We've read the article, so we know what we're talking about. We've copied it onto our website. We've cited our source. Now we will take the link from our own posting, which is on our website, our blog posting, right? The URL for our blog post. And that is the link that you're sharing on social media. Do you get why? You're going to take the URL from your blog posting at the top of the page. Once you've posted onto your blog on your website, that is the link you're posting. So you're still using the same content. You've got the same keywords that are going onto your website. But if they click on the article to actually read it, they're going to you. And you are legally protected because of your citing the source at the bottom. Okay? 5 steps. Got me? Okay? Those are some of the sources you can sign up for. You get Florida Realtors right now. You probably get NARs already right now. Real Trends, Real Deal, RIS Media are great. Inman's a paid subscription. Okay? This one was not included on the summary, was added after. Fun infographics. These are very graphically friendly, colorful, as you can see. This is a free source on the right side called Breakthrough Broker, where you can find content to post. They have thousands of different templates and infographics that are catered towards the dimensions of Instagram and Facebook. So you can pull content from there. 6 tips before selling your home, what the home buying process looks like, things like that. It's great informative pieces. You can either post those or hold them as bait, pretty much. But we'll talk about that later. Okay, community information. This is probably my favorite subject. So number 1, you can do the market updates. Remember, keep them short, sweet, and fun. My favorite part about this is the local businesses. Okay, we're talking about expanding your reach, right? Finding new people. So I dare you to try this. It's so much fun. Okay, find a local business, not like a Target or a Starbucks. Find Susie's Coffee Shop or Mike's Deli, things like that. Local places. Walk in. Walk up to the counter, knock on the counter, dead serious face. I need to speak with the manager. Dead serious face, okay? Manager comes out. You're going to get them to respond faster than if you just have a question, okay? Manager comes out. You go from your dead serious face to your realtor face, which is happy, smiley, and talkative. Here we go. So you go from dead serious. They walk out, sir, how can I help you? Hey, I'm Jonathan. I'm a local realtor, and I loved your place. I just ate here, and I would actually like to share you with my social network. Which is all people who live around here. You have 3 minutes for me? They may say yes, they may say no, they may say come back at 3 when we're not busy, whatever. But they will jump at the opportunity to be featured and exposed to more people, right? That's the idea. So you go back, very, very simple. You bring your video studio, your recording team with you, AKA your phone, okay? You go back, you step aside with the person, put the phone up. If you want to be fancy and get a tripod and a microphone, you can. Otherwise, just use the phone in a quiet place. Hey, this is Jonathan, your local Pompano Beach realtor. I'm here with Mike from Mike's Deli, and I just had lunch here, and it was incredible. I want to share, Mike, what makes your place so unique? Why should people come here? Boom, let them talk. That's all you had to do. All you had to do. Now you're going to post that video and tag Mike's Deli. When you tag Mike's Deli, what happens? It then gets posted onto Mike's Deli page. How long is that posting on Mike's Deli's page? Forever. Okay? The idea is that they share that, so now who you reached is now increased to whomever they reach as well. Kind of doubling down your exposure there. Not only that, but you get a higher relativity score the more businesses that you tag and interact with. So it helps you on multiple fronts. And it's kind of fun to do. Okay, we had fun just talking about it. Imagine if you're out there and you end up laughing with someone like, oh my God, I thought you were going to complain. Be fun. Anything that I've talked about so far, you can do through graphics. You can do through pre-staged videos. But you could also just be super authentic and go Facebook Live. Facebook Live is the #1 ranking content method on Facebook. What I mean by that is Facebook has an algorithm for how many people you will reach with your posting. There's different types of content, text, graphics and images, videos, and Facebook Live. Links are considered text, in case you were wondering. So texts, on average, will reach 5 to 7% of your followers and connections. 5 to 7%. That's like nothing. Let's say you have 1,000 followers. 50 to 70 out of 1,000 people will see a text posting. Okay. Graphics, 8 to 12% now. It's gotten a little higher than it was last year. 8 to 12% on graphics. Videos, 12 to 15. And live, 18 to 21. So the numbers went up a little bit from last year. 18 to 21% on Facebook Lives. And that is for free. If you want to reach everybody, you're going to have to pay to boost your post. But going from graphics at 5 to 7 to Facebook Live at 18 to 21, it's almost 3 times the impact simply by hitting record or live instead of typing. So whatever it is that's keeping you behind the camera instead of in front of it, get over yourself and start doing Facebook Live. Okay? If you're nervous about people seeing your face, you're in the wrong business. Okay? Get comfortable with it. They're going to see it one way or another, right? If you really want to get creative, you could call John Travolta and find out how he did Face Off. But just get comfortable behind being in front of the camera and being a personality. Be entertaining, okay? Drink a bunch of coffee before you do it, and you'll be ready to go. Coffee, espresso, add espresso, or Mountain Dew. Okay? For creating posts that look professional and nice, it's great. If you just want to take a picture and put it out there, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with taking a picture of your lunch and saying, had to make it quick, client to client, only 15 minutes in between, got to eat somehow. That's still content you can post on your business page. It's unbelievable. But if you want to create more professional postings, these are 4 different sources you can go to. Breakthrough Broker, we talked about before as being a free resource with pre-done templates. The bottom right is Pixlr, which is an online graphic photo editing software. It's okay. Think of it as an online Photoshop, which is free. Top left is my favorite by far, Canva. Love Canva. Love it, love it, love it, love it. You can use it completely free, or you can upgrade to Pro for $12 a month. $12 a month gives you stock images, graphics, more templates, save your color, your branding, save your images, gives you more database storage, right? Canva is ridiculous. There's a web application on your computer and a mobile application on your phone, and it's extremely easy to use. Don't tell my wife, I did a posting on Canva on my phone while I was driving on 95 last week. 2 weeks ago. Fiverr, top right corner. Let's say you can't figure out how to do any of this stuff by yourself and you need some help. Fiverr is a database. Think of it as an online classifieds for anyone in the world for something digital. They do photo editing, graphic creation, business card layout, flyer layout, Google optimization, website changes, mailers, campaigns, email communication and marketing. They do anything you could possibly imagine that has a plug, okay? Or a website or an internet connection. And everything starts at $5. That's why it's called Fiverr. Okay, that's the concept. So if you want to create graphics and you have no idea how to do it, you can send them a picture, tell them what you want, and they will do it for you. Okay. Let's say you want an image and you can't use the image of the house from the MLS, for example. These are 3 sites that are completely royalty-free, license-free, and high resolution. They have pictures and videos on 2 out of the 3 of them. You can use anything that's on there. And funny enough, all 3 of those websites use hashtags to categorize their images. So you would go on and say hashtag Florida, hashtag house, hashtag waterfront to find a waterfront home in Florida. A picture of a waterfront home in Florida, okay? What these are databases of photographers from around the world who upload their content into here to be utilized. Any questions about those? Okay, you guys all got it, right? You ready to do it? Get out there and be somebody? Okay. Now, sometimes you got to make things easier. And if you are just focusing all of your time on posting content, you're not talking to people. You're not speaking with consumers. The whole idea of what we're doing here is to generate a conversation so you can do what you do best, which is dealing with people. Okay? So let's talk about making things easier. Number 1, if you're really just going to focus on Instagram and Facebook, that's fine. You can link your Instagram business profile with your Facebook business page. So anything you post on Instagram automatically posts on your Facebook business page. we're taking 3 steps and turning it into 2. So these 2 happen together automatically. And then you go onto your Facebook business page and share that posting to your personal. Why is that important? Well, why is it important to go from your business page to your personal, right? That's where more people are. Okay, they tell you when you get your real estate license that your first deal is going to come from where? Your sphere of influence. Thank you, sir, in the back. I thought you were just listening to music, but you're tuned. All right, so your sphere of influence. On social media, your sphere of influence are your friends on your personal profile and your followers on your Instagram account. That's your sphere of influence. So we've done 3 steps in 2 ways. 3 impacts in 2 steps, excuse me. Instagram business, Facebook personal, okay? It's very easy to link those up. Go to Instagram, settings, accounts, linked accounts, Facebook, okay? We can make things even a little bit easier. These are 2 applications, Buffer and Hootsuite, for free that you can manage 3 social profiles, 10 or 30 scheduled postings, and have 1 login. What I mean by that is you can be in 1 centralized source and post to your Instagram, your Facebook business, your Facebook personal, your Twitter, your YouTube. You can post everything through one unique source instead of having to log into multiples or redo it several times, okay? And all of this is done for free. 3 profiles, 30 posts, or 3 profiles, 10 posts at a time. If you would like to upgrade, they're very inexpensive. I believe it's $10 and $20 depending on which one. I have a personal preference for Hootsuite. I think it's easier to use. That is actually what we use in the office to manage our social media accounts. We use Hootsuite Professional. Okay? Let's say these are methods for you to still do it yourself, but utilizing other programs. Let's say you don't want to do it at all. Like, Jonathan, I just need to set it and forget it. Okay? Nothing will ever be able to replace that unless you hire a personal social media branding person. It's not realistic. Okay? So here are 3 programs that you can utilize to either accomplish part of or all of it. Okay? These different platforms will post automatically listings, open houses, news articles, but it cannot replace the personal aspect of you sharing your branding, sharing your story, your closings, your testimonials. None of these will be able to do that. So if you're going to utilize one of these, use it to replace part of what you're doing and reduce your time involvement instead of replacing it altogether, because it will never be able to do that. A marquee is, I believe, $22 a month currently. We were talking to them about a relationship, but decided not to move forward with it. iExact Contact is available. I believe it's $33 a month. And then CirclePix, which is actually now called Core Listing Machine. That is part of an add-on to KV Core, which you know we have here. And it's $35, okay? Special deal. If you sign up in January, I'll give it to you for $25. CirclePix, or Core Listing Machine now, it manages your social media. So it ties into the IDX, to the MLS, and it will auto-post listings. It will auto-post open houses, news articles. You pick the categories. It'll post news articles, but all the other stuff like closings, testimonials, personalized information, things like that, it won't do. So you can use that to cover half of your impact. Remember, we talked about posting once a day. Maybe you use that for 4 days a week, and 3 days you fill in with your own stuff. CirclePix is $35 with us. It is $199 retail a month. It's $35 with us. And if you sign up in January, tell Tommy I said so, $25. Okay? So you can save $10. Right, but yeah, if you did another time. Okay, so we've talked about content. Doing all of that stuff and doing it consistently gives you a really good relativity score. And that's the idea. But we want to bring in more people. We want to find more people to see our business and see our postings. Because we can post as much as we want, but if nobody's seeing it, what was the point? Well, the point was getting your quality score up for advertising. But the real point is to talk to people, to interact with people. So let's grow your audience. Now, some of these are going to be really dumb, but imagine how you'll feel if you're not doing it. Okay, just let that sink in. All right, number 1, include your logo in your email signature. What I mean by that is the logos of the outlets that you are active on. You are not considered active if you have a profile but haven't posted since 2016. Okay, it's profiles you are active in. If you get an email from somebody in the office here, you see that we have Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Google Play Store, App Store. That's what we are active on. Okay, YouTube as well, excuse me. If we're not active on it, you're not going to see the link. Include your logos, the same social media logos, on your marketing materials. Nobody will look for you there if they don't know you're there. Okay? What I mean by marketing materials, flyers on your listings, mailers, yard signs, business cards, include those logos. It doesn't take a lot of space, but it can be very interactive or intriguing, especially for millennials. Your sphere of influence. Inviting your sphere of influence to follow your business page happens in two ways. Number one, when you first create your page, you invite everybody. Please don't invite everybody every day. Okay? Invite them once at the beginning, and then allow your business postings that you share to your personal to be your invitation back to your business. Okay? That's how you can be non-intrusive with your friends and still get that kind of impact. We discussed before, when you go to a grocery store and you meet somebody, friend them. Friend them, invite them. Consistency, posting once a day, minimum. If you're not going to post for several weeks, you will lose traction. Your relativity score will go down, your engagement levels will go down, and it hurts you all the way around. If you're going to have a page and a profile, you need to be active with it. Audience boosting advertisements. We'll talk about that when we get into advertisements. This is the big one. Join groups and interact. I touched on this at the business planning event, but joining a group for something you are interested in interacting with people is so impactful. Joining a group on Facebook is like going to a party. I say this all the time, okay? Except you know the kind of people that are at that party. So let's say you join a Pompano Beach homeowners group. You know everybody inside of that group owns a home in Pompano Beach. It's like walking into a party for homeowners in Pompano Beach. It's amazing. You know exactly the kind of people that you're talking to. Now, if you go to a party and don't say anything, who remembers you? Nobody. If you go to a party and you respond to people, you ask questions, you interact, you have a much higher chance of being recognized, remembered, or contacted. Okay? So when you join a group, make sure it's for something interesting or that you are interested in, not just like a real estate investing group. It's really not going to have a major impact on getting people out of that group and to your page. That's the idea. And it can be anything. At the business planning event, we had an agent who joined an Art Basel, however you want to pronounce it. We had him join a group regarding art in Miami. And he's been communicating with people on there about locations to tag or paint something or murals, things like that. And so that has turned back around, and he's writing a contract on a commercial building in Wynwood. Super excited for him, okay? That's the idea, is you're pulling in an interest and you're bringing the real estate out of it once you started that conversation, okay? So the same thing goes. I am a big fan of the color yellow. You will frequently see me with a watch band that is color yellow because I like it. It's a happy color. We're happy people. So I joined a group called I Love Yellow. I know that's something common to all those people. If I was really smart, I would have started that group, because as the owner of the group, you own the data. It would allow me to market directly to every member of that group. And what color would my ad be? Yellow, right. It's going to be more appealing to people in there. So imagine if you started a meetup group in your neighborhood, or a mom's club, or a yoga club. You can now cater, or animal shelter, animal rights, anything like that. You can appeal to the people that are in that group with a message that will appeal to them because you know what their interest is. Does that make sense? Thank you.
Yes, it do.
Okay, embrace social media with consumers. Like I said, you get a lead, you call them, don't get them, go friend them on social media. Send smoke signals, message them, throw paper airplanes at their windows, whatever it takes to get a hold of them. But the point here is to keep an eye on what your customers are doing. Not necessarily the lead, but someone you have a relationship with. So let's say you went out to look at homes with Susie and Mike Smith, and they ended up not buying. They just didn't find what was right in their price point, okay? Keep an eye, friend them on social media. You have a direct window into what's going on in their lives. Now, Facebook will only show you a certain percentage of their postings. So you can tell Facebook that it doesn't know what it's talking about. You can tell Facebook, I want to see everything from these people because they're important to me. And you can't do that on your news feed. There's a feature called friend lists on Facebook. You can only do it on the desktop version. If you go to, you open Facebook and go all the way to the left column. We're on the left screen now. I'll bring this into the middle for everybody to see. So you go to Facebook. On the left side here, scroll down. Okay, at the bottom here, you don't see it under Explorer, so hit see more, and there it is, friend lists. Here we go. Now, when I go into friend lists, it has some predetermined categories like where you went to school, where you grew up, where you've worked, places like that. It's Facebook determining how you know these people, but you can create custom ones. So you see up here, create list. You can create your own list, label it whatever you would like, and then add anyone from your friends list. You're adding people from your friend list, right? Create that list. Now what you're telling Facebook is, you don't know what I want to see. When I go to this list, I want to see an unfiltered list of everything these people have posted for the last 14 days. That's what this is. So it is a direct window. I would create a list for current customers, and I would create a list for past customers. Keep an eye on what your customers are doing so you know when you should reach out to them. Sometimes it will be a little too late, but it gives you more of a window than you already had, okay? If you just met someone, or maybe it was a lead, and you don't have anything on them, or you don't have a relationship, if you can get them to friend you, follow it. See what they're doing. Don't just be nosy and watch them, but look for life events. Someone's pregnant, someone's engaged, someone's going to college, someone's moving, someone got a new job, things like that, okay? That's not active anymore. All right, everything we did so far was organic. It was all completely free, no cost whatsoever so far. Now we're going to advertising. We've built our profile, we've built our brand, we've built our following, and now we are ready to continue on and actually pay to get new contacts in, okay? This is the time where we want to have a plan in place of when a consumer clicks on my ad, what happens with them, because you could get flooded and not be able to handle it, okay? So have a plan in place, or have a CRM campaign in place. If you have KV Core, you can automate it. Boomtown, automate it. Sync, automate it. Market Leader, you can automate it. Many of them you can, okay? So have that mentality in place when you're going to this point. Otherwise, you're wasting money. You have two ways that you could go, either self-driven or through a paid service where somebody else is doing it for you. I first want to start with a combination. So I mentioned this to you before, Adespresso on the top is my favorite profile to do it. And inside Adespresso, you can either do it yourself or you can pay them to do it for you. So you have two choices, you can go either way. Or you can try it yourself and then pay them a revision fee, and they will review your campaigns, tell you what you can change, how you can improve on it, and they'll change that stuff for you, okay? HomeSpotter on the right, I've heard good things, I've heard bad things, mixed reviews, but it's like that for every lead source. You could say the same thing about Google pay-per-click, Facebook ads, Realtor.com, Zillow. Some people like it, some people won't. AdWorks on the bottom is pretty unique. Now they have about 200 different social media advertising campaigns that they can do. My rule with them is if it asks you for a zip code, not good. That's been my rule. Everyone I've spoken with who had a bad experience had to pick a zip code and it didn't work for them. Very interesting. Now, I've used AdWorks, but didn't pick a zip code. What we did with them was retargeting advertisements. So we gave them a tie-in to the MLS and said, okay, whenever you get a new listing, I want you to remarket this listing to the immediate 15-mile geographic area. And that was really good for generating leads. Now, it can get very confusing to do that with them, so you have a bit of a benefit here. If you're on the KV Core system, you have something called Core Property Boost. Core Property Boost is KB Core managing that for you. And you can do that for between $35 and $55 per listing. It was. And it's extremely effective. Between $35 and $55 per listing. What they're doing is taking a 48 to 72 hour period from the time of listing or the time you start it, and they're spending that as your ad spend. They don't overcharge you or upcharge you for Core Property Boost, okay? It's very interesting. We've been generating a few hundred leads a month at a $5 to $6 cost per lead. So very, very effective for generating contacts, and they're real people because it's pulling their information from their social media accounts. They can't put in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 for their phone number or abc@gmail.com for their email. You're getting true information. Okay, really interesting. You had a question? I'll show you after. Okay. Now, if you want to spend money on Facebook or Instagram advertising, you need to understand where it's going, like what you're spending money on. And again, before you do this, please have a plan in place on what happens with these contacts when they come into you. It's not, I'm going to call them right away, Jonathan, no problem. You're most likely not going to get that person on the first phone call. Remember, your nurturing period is 9 to 12 months on average for these people. The average, does anyone know what the average is for a Realtor.com or a Zillow lead? 1 to 3. So imagine you get a Zillow lead or a Realtor.com lead and you have to nurture them 10 times longer to get them to close. But keep in mind, you're probably paying 0.1% of the cost it took to get it. So a Zillow lead or a Realtor.com lead might cost you $120 to $250 per contact, depending on your zip code, while you're getting it for 11 to 15 cents on Facebook. Make sense? Okay, so you get a larger volume, but you have to have plans in place to nurture these people to get them to that point. So set up your campaigns, it's very important. Now, when you're advertising on Facebook, your ad appears in Facebook Messenger, on the standard news feed, in the top right corner. Those are called short links. And there are 2 requirements. Number 1, you must have a business page. Number 2, you must have a credit card. Instagram on the right side. It's really, really simple. It's meant as a quick grab of attention. Like, click here to get this. Sign up here to get that. Call now for more information. Message me for details. Super quick call to action. There are 2 requirements. You must have a business profile or a business account. Number 2, you must have a credit card. If you don't have a credit card, you're not gonna be able to do this, okay? Now, let's see if you have Instagram as a business account or a personal account. It's a very big difference. The main gains that you get on an Instagram business account are the Insights tab, which tell you about who's viewing things, who's viewing your posts, who's responding to your postings, where are they located, how old are they, male, female, how did they find you, things like that, which can be very important information for you to change what you're posting. It also allows you to have contact information on your profile, on your Instagram profile. With a personal account, it doesn't allow you to put a phone number, an email, a website, an address, none of that information. It does on a business. And then lastly, it allows you to do Instagram ads as well. So take out your phones. This is the interactive part of the class. I want you to open Instagram and we're going to check and see if you have a personal or a business account, and we're going to convert you to a business. The only negative in converting to a business is if you have one of those really under the table hobbies, your profile can no longer be private. So if you have an alternative lifestyle in your profile, do not follow these steps. Otherwise, what you're going to do is open Instagram. In the bottom right corner, you will click on the little picture of yourself or the silhouette of a human being. Click on settings. I'm sorry?
Because I have 2. I have a regular.
Now, you have 2. Why?
Before I have so many friends and stuff on there. You know.
But you don't want your friends to work with you?
No, I'm saying I would have a filter, Carnival. I'm like a beast on there.
Okay. All right. That's the, right? Okay. So if you have a strictly business one, that's okay. So we clicked on the silhouette in the bottom right corner. On the top right, there should be 3 lines or 3 dots. That will bring down the menu so you can hit settings. Okay, once you hit that, scroll to account. Just account, just account. Okay, at the bottom, it should say switch to professional account. If it doesn't say switch to professional or it says personal, you already have one. If not, that professional account is switching you from a personal to a business. When you're doing that, creator is a little bit more on top of that. What we really want to do is professional. So if it doesn't say professional, if it just says personal and creator, business is fine. Yep. So it's kind of funny. It appears in different terminology on different phones. Like my son and I both have iPhones, but it appears differently. It's weird. Anyhow, so this allows you to connect it to your Facebook business page at the same time. Or if you already have one, you can continue and reconnect your Facebook business page if you didn't do it before. Okay? This is only positive stuff. Okay, we're gonna go more into the Instagram advertising again, but we're gonna talk about concepts right now on types of ads to put out there. The only ads that have properties or listings on it that have been successful are these retargeting ones that I talked to you about through AdWorks or through Core Property Boost. Those are the only ones I've seen successful. I have not heard of more than 2 realtors that were successful in using listings and manually doing their ads themselves. So I don't want you to try and refigure out any algorithms or come up with your own. It's not worth the time and money that you're going to expend in trying to figure that out. So if we are posting ads by ourselves, the easiest ones to gain traction and get a response with are called digital magnets. Does anyone know what a digital, without reading that, don't cheat. What's a digital magnet? What's a magnet? Right? It's a piece you hold in your hand that attracts metal, right? It pulls it in. So a digital magnet is something that you hold out that will attract someone in, right? It's an advertisement. But in return to get this thing that I'm offering to you for free, you have to give me something in return, AKA your contact information. Okay? So it's something of value that we are holding out to the public in exchange for contact information. Have you ever been on Facebook or Instagram and seen free sunglasses? I have 3 pairs of them because they're very attractive ads. And all I have to do is give contact information. I've now been hacked 7 times. No, I'm kidding. But it's something of value. That's the same concept. So what are things of value that we as realtors can offer out to members of the public in exchange for their contact information? A buyer's guide. Exactly the same concept. It's a buyer's guide. When a buyer has decided, when a member of the public has decided that they're going to buy a home, they are absolutely obsessed with it. Okay, obsessed. Have you ever had a customer send you 275 listings from Zillow that they saw the night before at 2 a.m.? It happens because buyers are obsessed with the process. When they decide that they're going to buy, or they're pre-approved, or they're qualified, they're reading articles on interest rates. All of a sudden, they become savvy investors on the Dow and the stock market because they have to pull money out to buy their house. They start searching through Zillow and Realtor.com and searching tips on what to know and pitfalls that could happen to people when they buy a house without a home inspection. They're obsessed with everything that has to do with buying a house. Okay, same thing goes on the seller side. When they've decided they're going to sell before they put it on the market, how to get top dollar for your home. What are prices in the neighborhood? Things like that, okay? So these are all items of value. Some of those would include open house schedules. Someone that's obsessed with searching, they see, oh, I can have you send me a list of all the open houses in the area I'm looking for every week. Great, sign me up. All you need is my email, that's great, okay? That's one idea. That is not the biggest producer that we have on here. Free home valuations, you see that all the time. Okay, that's something of value. A homeowner is the one who'd be filling that out. I want to know how much my house is worth. Okay, you see that all over the place. I don't like that word, home valuation. Okay, as times have changed a little bit and the bulk of our marketplace gets younger and younger, different words will pique the interest of people in that demographic. For example, every millennial who buys a house is now a seasoned investor. That's how we feel. 100%. Okay, I'm one. Same thing. Right, Ramses? Okay, so what is a word that can really resonate with someone who feels they're good at investing? Instead of evaluation, how about equity? Find out how much equity you have built into your home. What would you walk away with if you sold your house today? Things like that. If you're door knocking, those kinds of terms can be impactful as well. Okay, and Facebook has this nice feature. You see I left a blank here under city. That didn't just mean you fill in whatever city you want to advertise to. Facebook has a feature called dynamic ads, which you can do through one of the other portals that I mentioned before, AdEspresso. Dynamic ads detect the end user where they are located. So let's say I make free home valuations for blank sellers. Joseph, if you're in Boca Raton when you see that ad, it's going to say free home valuations for Boca Raton sellers. Oh my God, it's for me. Free home valuations if you're in Hollywood, free home valuations for Hollywood sellers only, things like that. It's more of an exclusive feel, so they're more inclined to think that it was for them. Buyer guides, 10 things to remember when buying your first home. That was the #2 performing advertisement that I tested. Seller guides, the same thing, how to get the most money for your home when you sell. 5 things to know before you sell. 3 mistakes that typical sellers make, things like that. You should be able to answer those questions anyways. Eugene, if I was looking to sell my home and I said, what are 3 things that I need to know before we list my house? Could you answer that question for me? Whether you can answer it off the cuff, pulling it from somewhere, or thinking about it and then telling me, that is all content you should put into an ebook. Do you know what an ebook is? It's a Word document saved as a PDF with a pretty cover. That's all it is. So take those concepts or the questions that a consumer would ask you, put them in writing, and save them. Those are all digital magnets that you can place advertisements behind. And I will tell you, your response will be massive. How many did you do when you did your buyer's guide? Just an example.
When I did mine, I read it like 2 weeks long. I got like 2 days.
That's what I'm talking about. It's insane. Because you're hitting general population with kind of a concept. They don't have to buy something. They don't need to like that house. They don't need to live in that city. They're very generalized. It applies to everybody.
Try to redo it again and it never worked.
You can do that with AdEspresso and really restrict on different areas that you want to sell in or that you have information or knowledge on. So let's say you want to farm Pompano Beach, that's fine. With Facebook's guidelines and you go direct, you can only do a 20-mile radius. Well, guess what? Pompano's a little bigger than 20 miles, or smaller than 20 miles, excuse me. So you'll be hitting people from Fort Lauderdale to Delray. Whereas if you use something like AdEspresso, you can say only Pompano Beach. So it draws that polygon out for where people are contacting the internet, right? So these are really, really, really good, very inexpensive ads to do. I always like this one because of the market tank that we had before, and many people became renters instead of homeowners. Rent instead of buying. Nobody wants to rent forever. Figure out how much money you're throwing away, things like that, okay? This was the top performing one by far. Everybody likes something for free. Rebates and certificates. Get $1,000 back when you, or get $1,000 when you buy a house. Get $2,000 when you buy a house. Save $600 and get a free appraisal. Leverage some of the relationships that you have instead of just giving away money. Or would you be willing to give somebody $1,000 if they bought a $300,000 house? If I was to offer you, hey, here's $9,000, but when you get that $9,000, I want $1,000 back. Would you do that? Right. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. $1,000 asterisk on minimum $200,000 purchase. You gave back $1,000 when you got $6,000 yourself. Everybody would do that. If I gave you 100 and said, give me 10 bucks back, would you do that? It's the same concept. We get too greedy sometimes as licensees that we're not willing to credit money to our customers, where you can use that to generate them in the first place. Okay, that's one. The second one is leveraging other things like the free appraisal. Our mortgage center gives you a free appraisal on every single purchase. It doesn't cost you anything. Okay, leverage that kind of stuff. Especially buyers, when they're looking in the process, they're obsessed with it. They need to cut costs. There are 2 big issues that stop a buyer from buying a house. Number one is credit, and number two is money. You can help them with the money part. Okay, you can help them with the credit part too by sending them through the mortgage center. They'll do credit repair on them. Anyhow, so these are all concepts. There's some other lenders and programs out there for down payment assistance, 100% financing. There's a bunch of different programs out there that you can leverage to that. Take one of your own listings and post it. Get 100% financing on this home. Find out how. Can you imagine the number of contacts you would get on that? It's unique. So I challenged myself and went on Canva and said, okay, Jonathan, you've been on here a bunch of different times. You've created a bunch of graphics, but how easy really is this really is this for someone to create ads on, to create templates, flyers, ads? So I gave myself 2 minutes, 120 seconds per ad to create them from zero, from logging in, now what? Gave myself 2 minutes. And each one of these are ads that were created with Canva in under 120 seconds. Okay, the left one, 10 things to know when buying a home, thinking of selling. We have buyers looking in your neighborhood. You see the template is very similar because I only gave myself 2 minutes to change things. But you know, let's say you don't know your way around. You can get these done in 5 minutes, 8 minutes, 10 minutes. It's very simple to use, okay? Here's 2 more. Same thing, 2-minute challenges. The idea is making them graphic and attractive. Sorry. Okay? I'm just trying to feed you with some content to get you brainstorming. Okay, this is not the end all be all on all of this. I just want to get your mind rolling on what you can put out there. I'm sure many of you have different ideas of magnets that you can put out there. These are just some things to get your mind going, okay? One more picture. You know, when I teach this at the board and I see people pick up their phones, I do this. I flick back and forth to let them take pictures. It's really funny. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so Instagram ads. I want to show you how really, really simple this is. So this is what an ad looks like on the left side here. Okay, the only difference between an organic posting and an ad is this little badge up here that says sponsored. That's it. That's the only way to determine whether something was an organic posting or a paid advertisement. Okay. Now, in order to do an advertisement on Instagram, you must have a business account, number one. Okay. And what you will see when you have a business account is on every posting, these 2 links here in the middle. The one that says view insights on the left and promote on the right. Okay. The view insights will bring up this menu on the right side here, which tells you everything about that posting. Okay. 392 accounts were reached with this. Because of seeing this post, 3 people hit follow. 392 people were seen. It was from those 392 accounts, 527 times it was seen. So 392 unique people seeing it 527 times. Now it's a little blurred, but on the bottom, from those 527 views, where did they come from? The first line says from home, so that's the main feed. That says 374. The one below that is from hashtags, 66. So because of the utilization of, I believe it was only 2 hashtags in this one, Florida Realtor and Florida Real Estate, 66 new accounts were hit from the hashtags. That's kind of a little bit of an impact that you can see, reaching people that you're not already connected with. Okay, 4 people saw it from looking at the profile, so meaning they clicked through on another post and saw this posting inside there, and then 83 from other. 83 from other. Okay, the main thing to get from this is how many new people you're finding and doing this, right? This was not a paid advertisement. This was organic, okay? 28% of the accounts, can't see if this says 26 or 28, but let's say 28% of the accounts that interacted or saw this were not connected with us before. So 28% of 392 are new people that we're finding simply by including hashtags, okay? Now, let's say we're doing an advertisement instead of looking at our demographics, right? Which you can go scroll down and get further into. We would click, the first step to creating an advertisement on Instagram is posting it. You have to post it, okay? Once you post it, clicking on this promote button is what takes us through advertising. When we click promote, it takes us to this window here on the left side. And it is literally 4 steps. Where do we want to send people when they click on the ad? Do we want to send them to our profile, to our website, or into direct messages to contact us now? Depending on the message that you are putting out, that will be a different page, a different result. If you are doing a brand awareness or just trying to gain followers, you'll use profile. If it's one of those digital magnets on how to get something in exchange for contact information, you'll do website and send them to a landing page to put their information in to get that information in return, okay? A landing page. Never, ever send them to the homepage of your website. Never, ever. Okay, it needs to be a message that is directly linked to the advertisement that they clicked on. Or you can send them into DM, direct messages, if it's something that they need to talk to you about. Like, get this house for 100% financing, no money down, ask me how. That would go into your DMs. Okay, does that make sense? Yes, great, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, so you selected where you wanted to send them. There's a next arrow at the top here, which is a little hard to see here in the projector, but you hit the next one. That takes us here. Select your target audience. Under the target audience, you have 2 options. You can either use automatic, which is Instagram saying, I'm gonna look at all of your followers you have on your account right now, find out what's common between them, and we're gonna find other people that look like them. Not look like them physically, but look like their impact digitally. So if it's females between 35 and 47 located in Florida that frequent Instagram more than twice a day, that could be your person. So they will market to people that have that same characteristics, okay? The second one, so the first one is good to use if you have over 150 to 300 followers, okay? That way you have a good test pool of who to pull from, okay? Or you'll create your own. The create your own takes you into location, age, gender, interest, hashtags they interact with, things like that. Okay, it allows you to build a quick little list and doing this all on your phone. Regardless of which one you do, you click next in the top right, it takes you to how much you want to spend. Okay, that's the last step. What you're selecting here, what I have selected here right now is $5 a day for 6 days, which totals $30. Instagram is telling me for what I have picked, there are between 1,800 and 4,800 people that could see or interact with my ad. Would you be willing to spend $30 to get your message into 1,800 to 4,800 possible matching people? If you say no, it's a big mistake. Yes, you would. And that is simply to test it, okay? If you don't know what you're doing or you're unsure about it, keep it at $5 a day for 6 days. Actually go down to 5 days. Have part of that overlap with the week and the weekend to see what does better for you, and test it for 30 bucks. If it doesn't work, do not give up. Change your message or change your target audience. Change something, because it does work. It's a matter of finding the right message for the target audience that you're selecting. Don't change both at the same time though. If it doesn't work, change either your message or your target audience, and change it a little bit. A little bit will make a big difference, okay? Any questions about going through Instagram ads?
So that's the paid version on your business page?
Yes, that is the paid version of posts, yep. Now, on Instagram, it has to be posted before you can advertise it. On Facebook, you can do boosted posts, which have to be posted to Boost, or you can do advertisements that don't even appear on your page. Okay, now, regardless of where you're advertising, Facebook or Instagram, unless it's a direct message request kind of ad, like an instant response kind of ad, you'll want to send them to a landing page. A landing page is built up of 3 components. Number 1, a message that is replicating exactly the ad that they clicked on. Number 2 is a contact form for them to fill in how to get them the information. And number 3 is a submit button. That's it. That's your call to action. Let's look at a few examples. It's really blurry. This is a landing page that was related to an advertisement for a foreclosure list. So what you see here is a non-scrollable page. There's no menu on the top. There's no address. There's nothing to distract the consumer. They get there. It says, here's how you get the foreclosure list. Fill in your information. Get me the list. That's it. You can't do anything else. That is the entire point. They clicked on something that they want, show them how to get it, and get out. Great question. Yes, KB Core does have customizable landing pages, unlimited for free. Okay, here are two more examples. On the left side is another good one. This was about investment property list in specific cities. You clicked on it. Here's what you're going to get. Download it now. Here's your information and get it. That's it. Super concise landing page. The right side was a lender's version of a landing page, First National Bank. And it's a little hard to see, but they still have a search bar on the top, the menu going across the top, all of these links on the right side, very distracting pictures, and this really long contact form. All right, this was an article from Adespresso. This landing page on the right had a 0.02 conversion rate. 0.02. So you send 100 people there, that's 2 people. The left one had a 26% conversion rate. So 26 out of 100 versus 2 out of 100. Which one would you rather have? Okay, consider the general public as toddlers. Okay, oh, you want a cookie? Come here, this is how you get your cookie. Give me your toy back and you can have your cookie. That's exactly what it is. Okay, now creating landing pages. If you have KB Core, great, you can do it for free automatically. They're really pretty, they're easy, done. Let's say you don't. These are 9 different sources that you can utilize for your own landing pages. The 3 on the left, Playster, is a very inexpensive website. You can create a landing page on there, but I will tell you, it's very limited. You can't remove the menu or the address bar or the right column. You can only manage that body, so it's not a true landing page. The middle one here, custom website on WordPress, is by far the Cadillac. You can customize anything you want on WordPress and make it exactly what you want it to look like and make it do exactly what you want it to do. Bottom left, let's say you don't have a website, don't want to start with a website, I don't know what a website is. The bottom left corner is Facebook's contact forms. They build their own little mini landing pages inside your ads. It's okay, but they know they're on Facebook. You want them to know that they're at your business, not Facebook, okay? The 3 in the middle and the top 2 on the right, EntrePages, Lander App, Instapage, Extensio, and Lead Pages, are all pay per landing page services. So you go there and you can create a landing page for between $5 and $20 per landing page. My favorite one is the bottom right corner, other than KB Core, of course. My favorite one is Visual Farming. I don't have an ownership stake. I don't get a commission. I just really like what they do. So what Visual Farming does, for $21 a month, you can create multiple landing pages, and there's a lot of tools on the back end. You can use their system to build your Facebook ad. Their system will talk to your CRM, so someone communicates, it will automatically go into your Market Leader, your Boomtown, your KB Core, your LionDesk, whatever program you're using, okay? And they have multiple different versions of landing pages. The main ones are the buyer guides and seller guides, like the ebooks. And on their system, what you'll do is upload your ebook to their site. So when someone inquires or submits their information, they instantly get the ebook from you. If you go onto a website and you subscribe to get a book, an ebook, an article, whatever, and they say they're gonna send it to your email, if you sign up for it now, when are you expecting to get it? Now. So if you don't use one of these systems or services that has instant gratification, they are instantly sending it to the consumer, the likelihood of somebody reading that book or responding to that for you is much lower, and it gets lower every minute. Okay, so it's not likely for you to be, it's not realistic for you to be sitting by your phone or your computer waiting, oh my God, did I get a lead yet? I gotta send them the ebook really quick. Automating that helps you a lot. The second one is on the home valuations. The home valuation landing page they have integrates with RPR and provides them a personalized branded report when they request it right away as well. And it gives them a range. The reason I like that is it's an excuse for you to reach out to them. Hey, Mr. Smith, I saw you requested a valuation report. I sent that to you. Wanted to see if you had any questions. I know it's a big range that's on there. Was that enough for you? Or I can get it to within a few $1,000s if you have 15 minutes for me. Oh, you would like to get a more detailed one? That's great. What's better for you, Thursday or Friday? I'll meet you at the house. You just got yourself in the door, okay? And if they click to ask for one, how quickly are they expecting to get it? Right now. So this automates a lot of that. As well, if you have a mortgage partner or a lender, hint, hint, right behind you, Mortgage Center, you can share the leads to that lender to get pre-approved and have two people trying to contact them and capture that lead. And they can also share the expense in the advertising through this portal. So I'm a very big fan of it. They won't share the $21 a month, but your ad spend on Facebook through there, they can share. So it's really interesting, a different resource that automates a lot of it for you, okay? On Facebook, when you are creating an advertisement, this is where I confuse people. There are 3 different selections that you can make on who to get your advertisement out to. Either new audiences, custom audiences, or special audiences. The new audience is very transparent. That is using Facebook's audience builder. That's picking a location, a certain demographic. Remember I told you Facebook's advertising guidelines changed a lot recently. So this has become much more restrictive lately. However, if you're utilizing Ad Espresso, you can bypass a lot of that. It's a secret, don't tell anybody, okay? Custom audience. You can build the list or contact people that are one of 3 things. Either they've follow your business right now, they've interacted with your business or attended one of your events, or number 3, that email contact list that we talked about. So if you have a good database, uploading that database would be a really good idea and advertising to those people. Maybe if you have a really good rental list of people that have rented in the past, uploading it in there and talking about buying versus renting. Stop wasting money. You can buy for less than you can rent now. Things like that. Hint, hint. Okay. Or you can upload that list from LinkedIn, your past database, current customers, all of that kind of stuff, and hit people on a different angle. Last one is special audience. It looks at the number of followers and the people you have following your business right now. And just like we talked about with Instagram, what is common among them and finding other people that look like that, okay? So those are really your sources that you're looking at when you're advertising to a specific audience. I did talk about this briefly. When you're creating a new audience on Facebook, we classify under what's called a special ad category because it's for housing, which is subject to fair housing guidelines. So it's been restricted down to you can't specify age or gender, and you can't go anything less than 15 miles. So you can't pick a specific pocket and say, I don't want to market to this neighborhood because that's, steering, it's getting away from certain areas. And you can select people based on their interests, but when we're in a housing category, Facebook has very limited selections on the interests that we can have. These are the only ones on Facebook's super comprehensive list that has anything to do with housing. Real estate, apartment, house, renting, or job interview. That's it. So it's very restrictive. I would highly advise to use a contact list, a database, or use one of those outside programs that will allow you to get around Facebook's restrictions, okay? Custom audiences, we did talk about briefly, the customer file, the database, okay? And one thing we didn't talk about is called a Facebook pixel. Anybody heard of Facebook pixel before? Okay, so a Facebook pixel is like a tracking code. You put a pixel on your website, and then every person who visits your website, it puts this little tracking code, or imagine one of those GPS spy devices you would put on the bottom of somebody's car, right? A pixel attaches to their computer or their connection and follows them around. So anyone who has visited your website, you can advertise directly to them on Facebook as well, because it recognizes that as being the same person. So you can put the Facebook pixel on your website and just let it sit there and come back to it in a month, come back to it in 3 months, and the list will build more and more as you have more traffic to your website, okay? Budget, how much should you spend? I don't want you to go overboard before you have learned a little bit about what you're doing. So just like we mentioned on Instagram of 6 days at $5 a day, same thing. 6 days, $5 a day. I just want you to test it. It doesn't work, change the creative or change the audience. Change one thing each time. When you find the right formula, bless you. When you find the right formula, that's when you double down, triple down, diversify, use the same thing into a different geographic area, etc. But you can work on it and test it at a very, very low cost. Don't think because it didn't work the first time that it doesn't work. Just the combination that you had didn't work. I promise you, it does work. Any questions? Okay, this was the very basic intro level to building a presence and gaining more followers and connections on social media outlets. The next one I will host on social media has to do with a more deep dive on actually doing the advertising. But I really want you to have content and a history of postings to build your relativity score before you go pay for advertising, because you'll get more of an impact the higher relativity score is. If you're just doing it from nothing at zero at the beginning, it's not going to work. You're going to spend your budget faster than you could expect and not get the impact that you really want. Okay? Okay? Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
You're good. I'll leave it up. I'm leaving it on there. I just had to stop the recording. Let me not fall. Where's the light switch? Yes, sir. And then I can come look at that for you.